Welcome to Talkin' to Taylor. I'm your host, Taylor Dragovich, an AMP Media Productions producer. You can catch me here every Monday at 11 a.m. I'll be interviewing guests, reviewing movies, talking about pop culture, and so much more every week. Now, time for the show. Hello, and welcome back to Talkin' to Taylor. Today, we have a very interesting subject thought up by my great cousin Caroline. If she's watching, this was her idea, so creds to her. I should have asked her to maybe be on the show today, but I didn't. And Megan was upset with me that I didn't ask her to be on the show also. Slick is fixing the camera. Appreciate that. Yeah, Val's a little shorter than me, so that kind of stuff happens. But yeah. So we are talking about dreams. I don't think I said that yet. We're talking about dreams. This was my cousin Caroline's brilliant idea. I thought it was a great idea. She just turned 15 like a month ago. Exactly a month ago now. No. I keep doing this. I keep thinking that her birthday's on the 28th of May. And I had to apologize for this. So, sorry again, Caroline. I keep thinking your birthday is on a separate day. But it's not. I don't know why I keep doing that. Anyway, her birthday's May 31st. I know it. But I just keeps getting mixed up in my brain. Anyway, she's been 15 for almost a month now. And she got her permit the day before my birthday. So, shout out to her. She's learning to drive. She's doing great. And yeah, so thanks Caroline for that great idea, and we're gonna get into it in a second. But I guess I'll just talk about my weekend because I don't know how long I'll be able to talk about my dreams because, I have dreams, but I don't write them down. I know a lot of people have like a dream journal. I don't do that. I probably should, or just write it in my notes, but I don't because I just don't care enough, I guess, until now when I'm like, this would be so helpful to have a dream journal, but it's okay. I thought of a few, and I think it'll be good enough, but yeah, I'll wake up and I forget all the dreams that I had, or I'll see, let's say, like, I don't know, there was a strawberry in my dream, and then I start eating strawberries, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just remembered I had a dream about strawberries last night. And then I'll, remember a few details of the dream, but I never remember the whole thing, which is very irritating because I would love to know everything that happened. I've seen people say on Instagram and stuff that what if your pillow could be some sort of, flash drive or something, and you could just watch your dreams in the morning. That would be great. Because I hear that apparently you dream every night, but I don't know if that's true. I mean, you do usually go into the REM state every night, which is, I learned this from Psychology Rapid Eye Movement, which is kind of creepy when you think about it, because your body is paralyzed, but then your eyes are, moving in your head. Kind of creeps me out, but anyway, I guess that's when you start dreaming, is when you're in a REM state, but yeah. But first I'll just talk about what I did this weekend. This weekend, I worked, surprise, on Friday and Saturday. No, just Saturday. But I worked on Saturday, and then I worked today, yay. But I worked on Saturday, so that was good. And then yesterday, on my days off, I'm always like, I'm going to do so much productive stuff. And then I end up not doing that much stuff. But my friend got me for my birthday a poster of 250 movies. All of these movies are supposed to be not Oscar winning, but award winning for either director or editing or something. They're supposed to be award winning movies. And when you watch one of the movies, you scratch it off. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but it's really cool, and I was very excited about this poster, so I watched 2 movies from my poster yesterday. So I watched $1 Million Baby and Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one. And I had never seen the whole movie of either one, so I was very excited about that. And My brother's birthday is tomorrow also, so shout out to him. He's turning 14. My brother that was on my show last week that is obsessed with doing trick shots. So I'll give him a little shout out. Michael is his name, and he goes by Dude Attack on YouTube. Go subscribe because he does actually really good trick shots. Like, I'm not just exaggerating. His trick shots are actually really impressive, especially his latest ones. So, recommend. Anyway, we'll get into the dreams now because that's what everyone wants to know. Let me pull up my notes here. Oh, that is not my notes. That is my work schedule. My first dream that I can clearly remember, which I don't know if this was actually my first dream, but this is my earliest dream. This is when I lived in my old house, and I don't know how old I was. I think I was in elementary school, and there were moths everywhere. Like, every inch of my house was covered in moths, and they were starting to cover me and my family. This is back before I had 4 siblings. This is back when I had, like, 1 or 2 siblings, and I got, like, somehow bug repellent, and I started spraying it everywhere, and then, yeah, it's not a very interesting story because I don't remember the details, but I just remember being, like, covered in moths. So, more like a nightmare, but not a great dream to start off with. Oh, this is a good one. This made my friend laugh really hard because she's obsessed with Harry Styles, so I'm not as obsessed with Harry Styles as I was during quarantine. During quarantine, I feel like a lot of girls had a slight obsession with Harry Styles because he was all over my TikTok. All I did was watch TikTok, and I was supposed to be going to the Harry Styles concert that was supposed to be in August of last year. Now it's supposed to be in October. We'll see if it actually happens. So yes, I had a obsession with Harry Styles a few months ago. Now my obsession has gone from here to, like, down here. I still like Harry Styles a lot. I think his music is great, but I'm not as obsessed with him as a person as I was a little while ago. You know, we all go through those obsessions. And so while I was in my Harry Styles phase, and if you don't know, I work at Cold Stone. While I was in my Harry Styles phase, partially because I have a friend named Valeria, and she still has a big Harry Styles phase, has for, like, half her life. And she's the reason I'm going to the Harry Styles concert. We used to work together, now she works at a gym, but she worked at Cold Stone with me. I had a dream that Valeria and I were working together, and all of a sudden Harry Styles comes in. But it's not Harry Styles now. Like, the dream is me now, the age that I am now, but the Harry Styles that comes in is Harry Styles when he was, like, auditioning for X Factor. Like, young Harry Styles. Curly hair, Harry Styles. I know there's, in the Harry Styles world, there's, like, eras. This is, like, fetus Harry Styles era that comes in. And I'm freaking out. And, you know, in your dream, it makes sense that Harry Styles from 10 years ago would be coming into my work. So this is what happens. Harry Styles comes in, I start freaking out, and Valeria starts freaking out also, and for some reason I was, like, wiping the counters in the lobby or something, not behind the counter, and Harry Styles comes in, and he's like, guys, let me perform a show. And I'm like, okay, Harry, go off. And Harry Styles goes behind the counter, climbs behind the counter, because, you know, he's allowed to do that when he's Harry Styles, I guess, and he climbs behind the counter at the Cold Stone where I work, and he starts performing on the counter behind the stone. And Valeria, and then he, like, I think he touched Valeria's hair or something, and she was like, I'm gonna pass out, which is exactly how she would react in real life if that happened. But I did tell this story to Valeria the next day when we went to the gym, and she was crying laughing. It is a really funny story. Just the fact that it's fetus Harry Styles and not just Harry Styles now was the part that made it really funny. But I remember in the dream I was so mad because I didn't happen to be behind the counter when Harry Styles was performing, so Harry Styles could have touched my hair, but that didn't happen because I was in the lobby for some reason. So I was, like, really annoyed, and there were a bunch of customers all of a sudden in the store, and they're like, Harry, Harry, and they were like chanting for him, and yeah, Harry just loved it. He was very happy. His hair was so adorable. He looked so young, and I was so mad because I was like, yeah, I could go in the back because I am an employee and I do work here. But I didn't want to annoy him. I didn't want to seem like a crazy person, and I didn't want everyone to follow me to the back. In real life, I probably would have just gone to the back anyway, because yes, I work at Coldstone. It's not illegal for me to go in the back at Coldstone. But I didn't want to be like an annoying fangirl, so yeah, that was my dream about Harry Styles coming into my work. That was a great dream. Oh, speaking of celebrities, so not only did I have a Harry Styles phase, I also, I'm not going to use the word had, I have a Taylor Swift phase. I have for like since her first album, okay? I'm not like just recently got obsessed with her. I've always been obsessed with Taylor Swift. And, you know, I know Slick over here is like, a Swiftie too.
Yeah, she's the best. So.
She is. She's great. Everyone thinks I'm obsessed with her. I don't know why people say this. People think I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift because we have the same name. That's not why. There are many reasons to be obsessed with Taylor Swift, and us having the same name does not even compare to like.
So ironic.
Yeah, it's like that. Taylor's just, we're like that. We're great. And so, yeah, I had this dream because and this was years ago, because I've always been obsessed with Taylor Swift. I had this dream that I was in like a Kohl's or something, some sort of clothing store where they have clothes hanging everywhere. Some layout kind of like a Kohl's, I don't know what kind of store it was. And I had a dream that I saw Taylor Swift, but it wasn't like she was surrounded by security guards or something. She was just walking around like a normal person, and I was like, whoa, that's Taylor Swift. Like, I need to talk to her. And there was nobody around her, and I was so surprised because I was like, why would Taylor Swift not have a crowd of people around her? She's Taylor Swift. Everyone knows who she is. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, Taylor, hey, can I have a picture? Like, why are people not crowding around you? And she said something to the effect of, like, shh, like, I'm hiding, or, like, they don't know where I am, or something kind of creepy, but, like, something like basically the paparazzi don't know where she is. And so I became a little bit of besties with her for a sec because I knew where Taylor Swift was, but nobody else did. And I'm sure that in the rest of the dream that I can't remember, she invited me back to her apartment. We baked cookies together. I met her cats. And she sang her new album to me. That's probably what happened, but I don't remember the rest of the dream. I'm sure I just woke up after that, but we'll just imagine that's what happened because that's what I want to happen. But I've heard that Taylor Swift is a great baker. I also love baking, so Taylor, if you want to have a baking party, I'm down anytime. I'm sure most people have had dreams where very unrealistic things happen to them, but it makes sense in your dream. And one of these dreams, I'm segueing to the next dream, by the way, was when I was swimming underwater and I could breathe underwater. But in my dream, it made sense. This was, I think I was in elementary school. I was very young when I had this dream. And I've always had a pool in my backyard from the house that I live in now and the house that I lived in before. I mean, I guess the house that I lived in when I was like 2 or 3, we didn't have a pool. But the two houses that I remember living in both had a pool, which I guess is pretty nice. I personally am not a big pool person. But last time I really went in the pool that I remember, I got a really bad ear infection, so bad that I was like crying, sobbing actually, and I don't like to show people that I'm in pain. I like to be like, yeah, I'm like so tough, but I was sobbing because the ear pain was so bad. So yeah, I just don't like going in the pool. And then chlorine gets all in your hair. It's not a fun time for me. But I used to go in the pool as a kid a lot. And so I was just swimming in the pool in a dress or something. And I could just breathe underwater. And I remember I was like swimming towards the pool light or something. And then all my clothes were just underwater for no reason. I don't know why that happened. But yes, that was another great dream. I was like a mermaid, but I had no tail. I used to play mermaids in the pool all the time too. Who didn't? Because that's the best game to play. Also at the beach with my sister. Another dream that let's see. Oh, yes. I had to remember for a second. I was like on a boat in a dream. I don't remember that. But now I remember. So this was in high school. I had this dream. And in your dreams, well, at least for me, I would have a few dreams where I would be trying to get to school and it would stress me out so bad, as if like if I don't go to school then the police are going to find me and like throw me in jail. That's how like stressed out I was in my dreams about getting to school. Even though of course I'd be stressed about getting to school in real life, but what? How's it? Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're good. And in my dreams, I would get so stressed about getting to school. And in this dream, I remember I was waking up late, trying to get to school. Suddenly, time doesn't make sense in dreams. Suddenly, I'm on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and I have this map, and I'm like looking, and I'm trying to find the front office to my school while I'm on a boat. That doesn't make any sense. But I'm on the boat in the middle of the ocean, and I'm trying to find the front office to my school so I can be, like, late to school or whatever. At this point, you would think, why don't you just skip school and try to survive in the middle of the ocean on a boat? But in my dream, it made sense. So I have a map of different islands and stuff, and one of the islands is the front office to my high school. For some reason, suddenly my high school has become different islands instead of a building. And yeah, I couldn't find my way to school, and I was stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and I was trying to find my way to the front office to my high school using a map. You would think I would have bigger concerns than finding my way to school, but I did not.
You ever had like weird dreams where it's kind of like, probably I'm just speaking for myself, like it seems like you're falling.
Oh, yeah.
You ever had those?
I remember I used to have those in kindergarten all the time. When I was in kindergarten, I went to this like private school, and at that school we had nap time. I don't know if it was just because it was a private school. And I remember I would have those dreams all the time during nap time. I would wake up and be like, and then I wouldn't be falling, but it felt like it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I wake up in sweats and I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's the worst. And also when you dream that you're like in the bathroom and then you need to like pee or something.
I know what you mean.
And
but that's like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
maybe a little too well.
It's warm, yeah. It's warm.
Yeah. But luckily that dream hasn't happened to me in some time. But yes, I definitely have peed the bed as a kid because I thought I was on the toilet. It wasn't my fault, okay? I was trying to do the right thing and go in the bathroom, but I thought I was in the bathroom. It just happens like that. It's just, we all have the same childhood, I've realized. And that was just part of our childhood, was thinking you're in the bathroom when really you're in your bed sleeping. Next dream. This is another thing I feel like, I don't know if everybody has this, but have you ever had a dream where you just have, like, you're missing part of your clothes, or you have no clothes on or something, and you're, like, in public, and something like that happens? I remember I had a dream where I was, like, in Target or something, and I had no shirt on. And then I feel like this little kid came up to me and was like, why don't you have a shirt on? And I was like, I don't even know. Like, where's my shirt? And that kind of stuff happens to me, and it's so embarrassing in your dream, and you think that it's real life, and you're like, I need to go find a shirt. But you would think in Target or something that you could easily find a shirt and just put it on, but guess not. Or Walmart or something. I don't remember where. But yeah, I've had dreams like that. And then my teachers come up to me and they're like, Taylor, why aren't you wearing a shirt? And I'm like, don't ask me. I don't know where it went. Probably sound crazy. But yeah, and then it would be really awkward seeing them at school the next day after I just had a dream that they saw me without a shirt on. But yeah. And another thing that I've heard other people say, this isn't just me, where your alarm is going off and you, instead of it waking you up, it becomes part of your dream.
Yeah.
And you're like looking for it. And I've had dreams where I'm like on some sort of canoe or something in the Everglades or something, and I'm looking for this alarm clock in the Everglades, and I'm just like, where is that noise coming from? I need to find it. And then I wake up 30 minutes later and I've been listening to my alarm in my dream for 30 minutes, and then everyone's like, why are you late? And I'm like, sorry, I was looking for my alarm in my dream. So yeah, that sucks because then I end up being late. These dreams are more detailed because I had these dreams over the weekend and I decided to actually write them down. So here's the dreams that I remember from this weekend. One is much more detailed than the other. So I guess I'll tell the less exciting dream first. So I have this friend named Chris, and I've been friends with him for a really long time. He works at Cold Stone with me now. He's back for the summer. We've known each other since freshman year of high school, and so we're really good friends. And so we were at this table somewhere. And then I also have a friend named we call him Texas. That's not his real name. It's because when he came to our school, he had moved from Texas to the school, and then someone called him Texas, and then it just stuck. So I have this friend named Texas. He lives in Indiana, actually, which is kind of confusing. And I had just talked to him over last weekend or something, and I haven't seen him since I graduated high school in like 2018 or so, or no, maybe since he graduated high school in 2019. So it's been a good 2 years or so since I've seen him, and I was thinking about him all weekend because I was like, oh, like I miss him, and I only talked to him for like 15 minutes because he called me for my birthday. And so this translated to it being in my dream. I guess I had 3 dreams this weekend. I forgot about the other one. And so, yeah, this dream is not very interesting, but it's just a dream that I had that I decided to write down. I was at this table at it looked like it was like a convention or something. And I was at this table with my friend Chris, and for some reason my friend Texas walks over. And, you know, Chris is friends with Texas too, so you would think he'd be like, oh my gosh, we haven't seen you in so long, hey. So I give Texas a hug, and Chris gets so jealous because the attention was not on him for a second, and that's all I remember. So maybe I need to have a talk with Chris because I actually work with him tonight, so I'll tell him about them. Be like, do you have something you need to talk about? Do you need, like, more attention or something? So, yeah, I guess he wants attention, but he's too afraid to ask for it. That's how I will take that dream. Next dream that has less detail was I was back in middle school, but the layout was like my high school. And so it wasn't like it was me back in my middle school body. It was me now, like 21-year-old me, in middle school. And it was weird because it wasn't like I was like, oh, why am I back at middle school? You know, I graduated from middle school in like 2014. Why am I here? It was like I was furthering my education, I thought, but for middle school, which I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you can go back to middle school and then be like, I'm furthering my education, because I already completed middle school, so I don't think that's how it works. But in my dream, you know, it makes sense. And so, yeah, I was back at my middle school, but it was the layout of my high school. And I was in middle school, and I couldn't find any of my classes, and I was stressing out super hard because I'm like, I'm just trying to get an education here. And I couldn't find any of my classes, and I was stressing out, you know, like I was saying earlier about finding your classes in dreams. It's way more stressful than it should be. So, yeah, I went back to middle school, my dream the other day, and then here is a more detailed dream. Here's everything I wrote down from this dream. I was working with Noah at Cold Stone again. Noah is my friend. We met from work, We're very good friends, but he doesn't work at Cold Stone anymore because I guess he doesn't like me or something, and he quit. So, yeah, I make fun of him for that all the time, and he gets really mad at me. But, yeah, he quit Cold Stone like a loser that he is. So, yeah, so I was working all of a sudden with Noah again, like the old days, and all of a sudden Noah gets super sick or something, and I don't remember what happened, but I remember he was really sick. I don't remember if he started throwing up or he started passing out, something like that, or he was bleeding or something crazy happened to him that we were like, we need to rush you to the emergency room right now. Like, we need to take you to the hospital. And it was so bad that we all decided to take him to the hospital. I don't remember who else I was working with. And in my dream, I was making cakes, as one does at work, at Cold Stone. Always working. I should have gotten paid for that. Working in your dreams is so annoying because then you get to go to work the next day in real life, and you're like, I already clocked in for this in my dream, so I don't know why I'm still coming here. And so I was making cakes, and I was like, even though Noah is like about to die, I need to make sure I put away this ice cream before it melts and put away all the supplies I was using. So that was one of my main concerns in my dream, instead of, saving my friend's life. And so in my dream, I'm like rushing to put away this chocolate ice cream and put away the cakes and stuff. And it was empty in the store before, but then right when I put everything away, and I also decided to start writing a note, which now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have just called my dad, who owns the Cold Stone, and been like, yo, Noah might die, so I need to leave work right now. But instead, I decided I need to write up a note and hang it on the door and say that we'll be back later and lock the door so that nobody comes in. So as I'm trying to write a note, another thing that happens to me in my dreams is where you can't walk, or you can't, there's something, you keep falling over and your just legs don't work. In this dream, my hand just decided to not work, and I wasn't able to write this note, and it was taking me forever because my hand just decided to not work and write stuff on a paper. And so it takes me forever to write, sorry for the inconvenience, an emergency came up, we'll be back later. And as I'm writing the note and about to hang it on the door, people start coming in nonstop, customers. And, even though I could be like, yo, please get out, I need to rush my friend to the hospital, I'm like, hey, we need to serve these customers real quick. So that's what we started doing. I was like, guys, I'll stand at the door and be like the bouncer kind of person and not let anyone else in, and I'll make sure no one else comes in. But we need to serve these last few customers. And also, for some reason, Noah was all of a sudden fine to serve customers, but we were still going to take him to the hospital. It doesn't make any sense. And let's see. I tried to not let anyone in the door. Then it started raining and thundering super bad. All of a sudden, there's a baby in the stroller outside the door all alone, and we think it might have gotten struck by lightning. But he looks alive, so we take him in. I'm just reading from my note now. I guess the storm is so bad outside, we stop serving people, and we all just sit there with the customers like it's a hurricane. Also, for some reason, even though we thought Noah was going to die because he was so sick, he was serving people, but we still planned on taking him to the hospital. Last thing I remember was I was standing at the door like a bouncer trying to make people not come in after I had taken the baby in the stroller, and then there was this guy outside with all these kids. It looked like a daycare or something, and he walks up to the glass, and we all assume that's why the stroller was there, but he also looks kind of sketchy, and he's playing outside in the storm with these little kids, and I was deciding what to do. That didn't make any sense, but that was my last dream that I thought of. So I hope you enjoyed this random dream segment. Now maybe I'll start writing down my dreams, and we're learning stuff over here. My biggest flex, by the way, is that I got a 5 on my AP Psychology exam.
That's dope.
I mean, it makes me sound really smart. I might have gotten a 1 on my other AP exam that I took that year, but that doesn't matter. It evens out. So yeah, that's all my dreams that I can remember. Maybe I'll start writing them down now and just make it a What Dream Did Taylor Have This Week segment. So, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and See you next week.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed talking to Taylor just as much as I did. Make sure you come back next week for a brand new show with me, Taylor. Follow me on social media at Talking to Taylor on Instagram and Facebook. Also, find me on the Anchor app if you just feel like listening to my show.